The Taycan GTS costs 104 grand and weighs 2,370 kilograms. But as we'll discover in this video, it proves, finally, that EVs really can be as exciting to drive as they are fast, and are now every inch as desirable as they are sustainable. The brilliant to drive EV is here basically, and this is why. We drove the Taycan GTS on both road and track for this vid, and in regular sedan guise and in knee-tremblingly gorgeous Sport Turismo trim. Sedan version on the track first, this is what happened next.
Oh, that's well cool. That is what the GTS is all about. It always has been. It's kind of the most passionate brand that Porsche has. Well, that's what they say, and it's, you know, you get all this suede and stuff inside, but the nature, the characteristics of the GTS are all about this bit in you. And even though this is an EV and you wouldn't expect it to have much of a soul, it really actually does. The performance of this thing is absolutely outrageous. Basically 600 horsepower, a little bit less than 600 horsepower, and 850 newton meters of torque. Okay, it weighs as much as a small house. But Porsche's chassis dynamics, the electronics and all the other tricks that they've got, including optional four-wheel steering on this one, they do an awful lot to manage that amount of weight. And it will go sideways, as you can see. You turn into a corner and it just sits beautifully. It doesn't absolutely nail itself towards the apex. There's quite a bit of work that you need to do at the wheel to get it to where you want it to be on the track. Otherwise you just kind of gradually feel yourself pushing wider and wider of each apex. But listen to me, this is an EV that we're talking about. This is not a, you know, this isn't a 911 GT3 or something like that. This is a refined, super comfortable, theoretically quite chilled sedan, Porsche calls it. But you stick it on a track like this, and the sports car within very, very rapidly starts to rear its head, and it's really good. This car is really good to drive.
The headline figures are big in all directions for the Taycan GTS. 590 bhp, 850 newton meters of torque, 2,370 kilos, 104 grand. Except for the 0 to 62 mph time, which is aided by four-wheel drive and launch control in this instance, yes, but it's still pretty tasty at just 3.7 seconds. Top speed of the GTS is 155 miles an hour, although it would do a fair bit more than that if de-restricted, says Porsche.
On a track, the Taycan GTS is about 200% better than I thought it was going to be. Maybe even 300% better than I thought it was going to be. But look, this is a road car. Very few people are going to take Taycans to tracks. Are they? Are they really? No, I don't believe it. They are going to drive them on the road though. And that's where we go next in the Sport Turismo version. And on this evidence, I am really, really looking forward to that. Probably even more so than on the track. I'm completely blown away by this car. It feels like a real moment car, a really significant event. I mean, I know that Taycan's been around for a while now, but there's just something about this GTS treatment that really works with it. And I bet you that behind the scenes, quietly, Porsche's evolved this car since it went on sale a couple of years ago, and I'm absolutely certain that it's better than it was. Just more natural feeling. The throttle response is absolutely lovely. It's really starting to feel quite natural. The steering is also delightful. The brake feel is really good. The thing about the Taycan GTS is that you just don't need to make excuses for it. You don't need to go for an EV on the end of every sentence. It's just a really good thing to drive, full stop. It feels like a proper Porsche. It is a proper Porsche. I mean, it's pretty good on the track, but on the road it feels absolutely at home. This is where you're going to enjoy your Taycan GTS. And particularly the Sport Turismo version, because it just has that much more space. Doesn't seem to affect the way it drives at all.
On the road and in the flesh, the GTS Sport Turismo doesn't just look sensational, it is sensational, full stop. Its four-wheel drive chassis offers a real mix of the kind of good stuff that enthusiasts, genuine enthusiasts, will love. Its steering in particular is delightful in both its feel and accuracy. And not only is it fast, seriously fast, but it sounds really good too. I mean, listen.
And it does gear changes. And it does downshifts. Doesn't sound like a normal car, but it sounds like a cool car, that is for sure. I really like this thing. I really do like it. You just don't have to make excuses up for it. It's a cracking good thing to drive. I mean, this is a proper, twisty, challenging, serious driver's road. And the Taycan GTS is just dismantling it bit by bit.
Compared to the similarly styled but twin-turbo V8-powered Panamera GTS Sport Turismo, the Taycan is cheaper, more powerful, has massively more torque where it counts. So in simple terms, it's just faster. It also burns zero fuel and has a range of 313 miles. Now that's not much worse in the real world than the Panamera's range. And when you fill up, yes, it takes 22 minutes. But in the Panamera, it costs £135 to do that at today's fuel prices. At which point the whole range anxiety, filling time argument begins to take on a very different complexion. And when the rest of the car is this good, well, the V8 powered GTS suddenly seems old-fashioned at best, and at worst, no longer especially relevant.
The interior of this thing is really nice too. Completely clear dials. I mean, everything is digitised. Big screen there, TFT instruments here. But it doesn't feel that different to a 911 or a Panamera inside. And you've still got this same button to dial through normal, sport, sport plus, individual. There's another setting called range, which just puts it in the most efficient mode in order to get the longest range. It's that noise though. The noise this thing makes is just brilliant. This car is just brilliant.
The Taycan GTS Sport Turismo is an incredible car. In many ways, it's a revelation. If nothing else, it's proof, finally, that everything is going to be okay in the world of sustainable, enthusiastic motoring. Correction, it's already way better than that.